Hello guys, thanks for coming back again if you are a subscriber of this channel, and if you are yet to subscribe and you are new here, just click on the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell. It will notify you when we drop our new videos. Thank you. We are here to talk about the specimens for the Waec 2024 agricultural science practical. So we'll highlight the specimen just we used to do for other practical subjects, and such as physics, chemistry, and biology. So let's move on to specimen A. Specimen A is ranging pole, and we need to talk about its function, the description, and how it is used. Actually, it is used to mark areas and set out straight lines on a field, like a farmland. You want to mark out some area and you want to mark out a straight line. Though surveyors use a ranging pole, let me just put it according to its name, for setting a range of distance or length within a land or a farmland or a field. Let's put it that way. So it is also used on farmland, on fields by surveyors to mark out points. Sometimes flags used to place at the edge of it, I mean at the top end of it, to make it more visible if it is used by surveyors, so that when they view from distance far, they'll be able to mark that point with the ranging pole. So then the flag will make it more visible for them to observe from far distance. Then the description is that they are straight round stalk, just like you can see it in the diagram. It has a thickness of about, let's say, that's the diameter of the pole should be around 3 to 4 centimeter in thickness, and the length is about 2 meter long, always 2 meter long. That's the length of double a meter rule. That is the length. Then how do we use it? Surveyors use it by just keeping it. Okay, you just have to hold it by keeping it loosely between your thumb and your index finger, so it can be freely held. Then you can put it in the soil just for marking purpose. You just like dig it into the floor and allow it to stand in upright position, so that it can be used to mark that particular point temporarily, maybe for a measurement to be taken and all that. So that is a ranging pole. So it is just majorly used for marking out, is a marking out tools on farmland. The next specimen is specimen B, which is arrow. And majority of us, my mind might go into arrows used in movies for war purpose. No, though arrow is also a marking out tools on a field, especially for surveyors. But in most cases, according to the one that of farm importance, according to the diagram you are seeing or the picture you're seeing, they use them to indicate directions on farmland majorly. That is it. And sometimes for marking a given point, arrow indicating a certain point on farmland, or to indicate direction to a particular point on farmland. Another specimen is specimen C, which is measuring tape. So as its name implies, we all know it's used for measurement. So, and what kind of measurements? Maybe measurements of distance between 2 points on farmland. Then for also determination of straight line. Yes. Then if a certain place on farmland is curved or straight, I think it's with the help of uh, measuring tape, it can be known. And you can also use it to determine right angles on farmland. That is that for the next specimen is specimen D, which is wooden peg. So wooden peg is just like a wooden material. It is also a marking tool. If you look at it very well now, specimen A, specimen B, and specimen D, they all fall together in one category, that is their marking tool. But just the wooden peg is used for more permanent marking on farmland. So the marking that is done with the ranging pole and arrow, they are mostly okay. Arrow is also a permanent because if it is placed for direction, it will always be there. So wooden peg is also for permanent marking. The next specimen is specimen E, F, and G, which consists of capillary tube, as you can see, and you will need a water trough. Look at the water trough right here. Then after that, we have the arrangement of the water trough, cotton wool, and the capillary tube. And you are going to also have sandy soil, loamy soil, and clay soil. So this test is actually used to describe a capillarity test for those soil samples. So if you have sand, loam, and clay soil, then I think sandy soil is specimen E. Then we have the clay soil as specimen uh, F, and G as the loam soil, or whichever way it is arranged. So uh, the cotton wool is placed at the end of the capillary tube. Then the sand are put. We have three capillary tubes there. So the sand are put on the cotton wool and make sure they are settled. Then they sit them down into water inside the water trough just like this. And you discover that some of the sand, if you check the clay, you discover that there is more water in the clay. The in the tube, water rises very higher in the clay compared to loam, and sand has the smallest volume of water rise. So this indicates that is a capillarity test. So water rises in the clay soil than the loam soil, and it rises better in the loam soil than the sand soil. So that is what the test is actually used for, to check the capillarity in each soil sample. So many questions might be asked about this. So you might be asked about the type of sand that is in the one with highest volume. You should know is clay soil, and so on. That is how it is done. Specimen H is the next one, which is maize weevil. So this is how it looks like, and the label. So we know the insect body is divided into either thorax, abdomen, and head. So this one is divided into three. You can see the second and third segment of the body, and the head side, the thorax side rather. So we can describe them. Their scientific name is called Cytophilus zimmes. Cytophilus zimmes. That is the scientific name. Cytophilus zimmes. The one for rice is Cytophilus oryza. So I actually use a diagram of the rice weevil. So this one is for maize. Specifically we are talking about maize weevil, but the weevil have similar characteristics. So we have to discuss them. So that of maize is Cytophilus zimmes. Their sizes are usually small, less than 6 millimeter. Then their length should be around 1/4 millimeter, and they are herbivorous. You know that means they are herbivore, and that means they are herbivorous. That means they feed on what? On plants. So the economic importance of this weevil is that they have serious consequences on the harvest, as in the infestation of fungi and bacteria caused by the activity of the maize weevil. So there are so many activities of fungi and bacteria that result from their own activity on maize. So that will now render the maize inedible. So then I've talked about their characteristics. So we can also talk about their shape. They are oval in shape, and they have uh, shape mark on their, I think the oval is marked on their thorax. Then how do we control them? The only way to control these pests is by fumigation. So you have to fumigate your farmland in order to eradicate them or kill them. So once this is done, they will be able to leave the farmland. And that is that for specimen. The next specimen is specimen I, and that is bean beetle. So the bean beetle are generally compact and oval in shape. So they used to have a small head, and this small head used to come with maxilla and mandible, and we know that is for chewing.
So their size range from 1 to 22 millimeter for some tropical species. That means some that lives around hot areas. So then colors are usually black or brown. So it's either the thick brown or black color. So um, often with a molted pattern, a moted or mottled pattern rather. So that kind of pattern you see with a line on their body. Then they have, okay, I've said they have mandible already. They do not have long snout characteristics of true weevils. So we have the being beetle is not a true weevils. That is why they are called beetles. So the true weevils are called weevils, just like the maize weevil we've talked about the other time. So they are herbivore too because they feed on plants and they also consume seed. So how do we control them? Is that insecticide are used to eradicate them from farmland. One thing about the bean beetle is that the adults they do not need water or food during their fully grown lifespan, which is just about 2 weeks. So it's just 2 weeks. Once it has become an adult, their lifespan is just for 2 weeks. And these 2 weeks, they do not need food and water. All they need to do is to mate and reproduce and lay eggs. So that is what they do. And at this stage, if you are to control them on farmland, you should eradicate the adults so that the production will not continue. So the best way to control them or get rid of them on farmland is to eradicate the adults. So once the adults are unable to reproduce, that's it. So insecticide can do that, and there is a material that can be sprinkled on the soil called the Bavaria bassinia that helps to stop their egg from maturing into adult, into larva, or eventually grow into adult. So that is that on specimen H. The next of the specimen is specimen J, and that is grasshopper. The scientific name is Califera suboda, and the description is that they are characterized by a chewing mouth parts, that they use their mouth for chewing, slender bodies, wings. The wings, they are kind of wings that fold lengthwise. That means they fold backward, as you can see. Then they have a charged, powerful hind legs. That is their back legs, and that is just used for jumping. Yeah, and gradual change in form and size as they develop. That's one of their characteristics. They change in form and size. Though the grasshopper used to have green color, however, we have those that are always dark or ash in color. So then that is their characteristics. So they are medium to large insects. So we cannot call them small insects. They have medium size and they have large sizes. Then they have three body parts just like other insects used to have, and they have three pairs of leg. Three pairs. You can see the three pairs of leg. One at the one pair at the front, one at the middle, and there is one at the back. So they have one pair of antenna which is at the front. You know the function of antenna is to receive information about stimulus or danger so that they can find their square roots using that statement. So then they have the tracheal system that is for uh, respiratory, that's for respiration gradually, and they have two pairs of wings which I've analyzed the other time. So they have two pairs of wings. Then another thing is they have the four wings. The two pairs of wings consist of the four wings, the one that tilted to the front side and the one that have back sides, you get. So they feed on plants, green plants mostly. They feed on their leaves with their mouth part that is capable of chewing. Then they also have they undergo simple metamorphosis, and at the same time, so their habitat, they are found in variety of habitats. They occur in greatest number in lowland tropical forests. Then sometimes you can see them in semi-arid land. That means a land that is kind of dry and wet or has a balance of the two. Then you can also find them in grassland where you can see so many green lands. I mean green grasses where
So
they
the
can
next
feed.
specimen is specimen K, which is cotton stainer, and the scientific name is Disdacus suturellus. So they are characterized to have, they are called bugs. They are usually red or black in color. So they used to live in large numbers, and the major consequence of them on cotton plant is that they discolor it. They change the color of cotton plants. Cotton plants is usually producing a white wool, so they change that color to something else that will be rendered useless. So adults are true bugs. They are true bugs with piercing and sucking mouth parts. So they call them true bugs because they have piercing and sucking. So they are piercing and sucking is insect, and the adult can withstand wide range of climate conditions, though it depends on the climate condition. So at least they can still withstand some range of climate change. And by the time they disperse, they can fly as far as 15 kilometer in distance when they move. So it is very common in India and America that these particular pests affect the cotton plant, and they feed on punctured flower buds or young cotton bolls. That's what The
they feed
method
on.
of control for this particular cotton stainer is you use insecticide on ornamental and fruit. Uh, to okay, you use insecticide to chase them out or kill them. Then you can attract them to the farmland with fruit or piece of sugar cane. So once you do that, then you have to spray them with soapy water. They will die. So they are easily killed by soapy water. So once they are attracted by little of sugar cane or fruit, then you sprinkle or spray soapy water on them, so you get rid of them. So that is for that. So the next specimen is specimen L, which is tilapia fish. The scientific name is Oreochromis niloticus, and is a usual fish that everyone know with scales. Then it has gills, it has mouth parts, the eye, and the fin. Then the caudal fin, which is at the back. All these are for swimming, and they have a streamlined bodies for swimming in water. So that's the biological nature. Then their life cycle started with the breeders, so which the egg mature into larva and post-larva stage. Then they take it out in form of laying. They call that fry. So what they bring out is actually called fry, Fry. So the fry then mature into juveniles, and then juveniles mature into adult fish. Then the adult fish can live up to the period of 10 years. I think there is a record of one that's lived up to 10 years. So their lifespan is always uh, 10 years or lower. So they feed on algae, but when they are reared on farmland, they don't feed them with algae. They feed them with corn or soya meal. That is when you have grounded corn or soya and mix with some nutrients. That is what they use to feed them on farmland. The next specimen is specimen M, and it's the A. You've heard about the saying, make hay while the sun shine. So hay is just made from cut grasses. So and the grass used to contain legumes. So if you cut some grass, you cut some leguminous plants with it. So in order to add more nutrients to the hay, animals like horses, cows, goats, sheep feed on hay, and they feed on hay majorly for source of energy and protein. So if the hay are different from each other based on the
the ratio of legumes to grasses that are present in it. So if we have the one that has more legumes, then there will be higher percentage of what's it called, energy, and also protein, though their ratios might be different. So then we have the one that contains more grasses than the legumes. So and A is made by cutting grasses and leaving them on field for them to dry up, either by sun or by artificial heating method. Then they are turned around using, when they are left on field, they are turned around using what we call swat turner or tether, swat turner or tether, so until they dry up and they are kept for animals to feed on, like horses. The A horses feed on used to contain more of calcium and manganese, just a little bit than the other set of herbivores that feed on it, just like the sheep and ram. This is due to the fact that they actually need strong bones because they go into races, and they are always used for lifting of loads sometimes, though donkey is specialized in that. But the weight of those riding horses and the race they are involved in, they really need something that strengthens their bone. So that is the reason why it is added to their meal. So then that is for A. The next specimen is called fish meal, and it is just like made from grinding of fishes, and the type of fish that I use are oceanic fishes and maybe pelagic, herring, and we have there is a particular one called aquavis and sardines. So these are the type of fishes that are grind into powdered form to form the fish meal. So it's not actually fully powdered, it's coarsely grounded powder. So and is made uh, from the cooked flesh of fish. So the fish have to be cooked and a little bit dry before it is actually milled into powder. Then it is consumed by poultry birds. Poultry means birds like chickens. So they feed them with this source of protein. Then swine, mink, and some pets used to use it. And for they use it in farm raised fish. So some fishes that are brought up in farmland make use of or feed on the fish meal as source of protein. So it contains about 71% protein, 9% fat, 8% of water, and 12% of other minerals. So that is the component. Though this might change, is not constant. That percentage might change. Is not a constant percentage. The fishes are pulverized. That is grinded, and then they are they are squeezed. The pulverized form of the fishes are squeezed or pressed so that the oil and water will just be evacuated from it to form a dry powdered substance, which is called Thanks fish for meal. Watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share our videos. And we are going to bring more practical videos in this examination. Just stay tuned. Thank you.